Real estate minute. Okay. So this is Melissa Johnson again. Real estate minute with my guest today is Miss Paula Boyd Robinson of Financial, which is a mortgage company, and we just want her to explain to us today about documents and what you need when you apply for a mortgage. The mortgage company is going to ask you for certain things, and some people get offended when they ask for certain things, but I'm going to let her explain to you what they need and why they need it. Miss Paula.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so basically, when you're doing a mortgage application, of course, you're going to want your pay stub. We probably need your federal tax returns. And when you send your tax returns, just make sure it's all schedules of your tax returns. If you have like a Schedule E, which is rental, or if you have a Schedule C, which is business, all of that has to be included in the tax returns that you turn over to us. Now, if you do own a business, you can't just send tax transcripts, which is different. There's a difference between your IRS tax transcript and your actual returns that you file. What we're looking for is the actual paper returns that you turned in to the IRS. Okay, so that's pretty much it for tax returns. Now, we'll also ask you for your financial documents for your assets. We usually have to go back at least 2 months. And what we'll need is your actual bank statement. If your bank statement has 5 pages and there's nothing on the fifth page, we still gonna need that page. So we'll need all pages of every page of your bank statement. So you can't black anything out. You can't do, it has to be like a full disclosed bank statement. Okay, you just can't black anything out on the statement, so it won't be accepted. Um, Other than that, we normally ask for a copy of your ID just to verify who's applying for the mortgage. Um, if you give us Social Security income, we'll ask for your Social Security award letter. You can obtain that from the Social Security Department. You can call them, they'll fax it to you, they'll mail it to you, or you can go on the Social Security website and print it out. If you're receiving pension, we'll need the pension benefit letter. And you can call your retirement center. They can send you that award letter that'll tell you how much you receive each month for a lifetime, if that's what it is. Or you can turn in your last 2 years 1099 forms to show proof of your retirement and Social Security income if you don't have the award letter. Child support, we ask for a copy of the actual court order that you receive for child support. The child has to be cannot be any older than 15 to count it, because at 18 that cuts off. Okay, unless the child's in school, you can't guarantee the child will remain in school. So they're only going to count it. You have to have at least 3 years of income for that child support in order for us to count it. Same thing with SSI. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it on income.
Now, let me ask you something. Suppose, okay, you say you need a bank statement. Do you all take a bank statement, an online bank statement, since a lot of people don't get mail statements anymore? Will that suffice?
I'm sorry, did you take a bank what now?
An online bank statement, an e-bank statement that they have from their bank, from their online banking stores.
Okay, as long as the bank has the statement that you turn in has what we call a URL number at the bottom, we can accept it. So that URL number is gonna validate that statement or the transaction summary. If it has that at the bottom, we can accept it.
Okay.
Or you can get your bank and have them put a bank stamp on it. We can accept it that way as well.
Okay, what about IRS transcripts and statements or form or income tax returns? Can you all, as a mortgage company, pull that from the IRS? Or we have to give it to you? Can you pull a transcript? Will that not suffice?
We can pull transcripts. There's a cost to pulling transcripts. Um, Usually we pull them anyway if it's a self-employed person, but if it's a self-employed person, we will pull transcripts, but you still have to turn in the paper returns
Okay.
because the transcripts won't break out what you've written off on your
Okay.
business. So that's why we have to have the paper returns for a self-employed person. But if you're not
Okay.
self-employed, yeah, we can pull transcripts
A
if we
question.
need them.
For people that are self-employed, are the documents any different? You still need the same type as if you work for a company, or is it some additional paperwork that you need for someone that's self-employed?
Well, if you're just self-employed and you have no W-2 income, all we need from you is your last 2 years file tax returns. Like I said, all schedules. If you have a Schedule K or incorporated business, we'll need that as well, both personal and business. We'll also need like a profit and loss statement for the year to date. So there's some additional things that a self-employed person will have to produce. Of course, you're not going to have a pay stub because you're self-employed. You're not going to have W-2s because you're self-employed. You may
Right.
have 1099. So if you have 1099, you'll have to provide those as well.
Okay. Say for instance, someone like myself who's a realtor who owns
Hmm.
as a individual self-proprietor, my income taxes are not separated from my I am my company.
Right. But okay, so a person
I'm
that
kind of like
does
a normal person. Kind of like a
right,
normal person and with the
mhm,
business. But it's
right, but you got a
LLC.
schedule.
I
You'll
have a
have a
schedule
schedule.
C.
Right. So you'll turn in your tax returns with your Schedule C.
Okay.
So
All
that'll
right.
be what that is. Hmm.
Okay. Well, that's good information. Anything
Okay.
else you want to add to the documents that are necessary? So we'll get these people in here and get these loans.
Right. Just understand that, it's not that we're trying to get in your business, but this is just something that we require. It's not just us, any one particular lender. These are just guidelines that we have to have all of this documentation. And everything has to be most current. Like I said, you can't black anything out on your financial statement. Um, you, and we will keep asking. So just try to be patient. It is a process, but it's something that's necessary to keep down fraud and make sure that you can afford the loan that you're trying to obtain. So,
Absolutely.
but that's
Absolutely. And see, as realtors, we
mhm,
get that a lot. A lot, I think people get frustrated with the process or if they don't have the mechanism or the uh, I guess I don't know what acumen I think is the right word to processes. To know that you got to go and you got to do some footwork. You got to go and call these people and get these forms and get them in a timely manner. Because you can't say, well, I contacted the IRS to send me this and I haven't gotten it yet. But you need to ask the right question. How long will it take? Can you fax it to me? Because I'm trying to obtain a loan. Time is of the essence. You can't sort of got to egg people on. You can't just rely on when you ask for these documents from your employer, for instance. You can't just sit on it and say, "Well, they said they're going to get it." You got to keep at it and do some footwork and go. If you didn't have it, they can't just print it out. Or if you work for a large company and it has to go through corporate who's in Missouri somewhere, then you need to call them and ask them what's the best way you can get it in a timely manner because time is of the
right,
essence. You get the ball rolling. Nobody's gonna touch the documents. Gonna become um, late. They're gonna expire with the mortgage company. You can't just keep holding. What's the longest you can hold a loan? Probably. Guess what is my next question. If they start the process and they don't get all the documents in, and then they come back in about 2 more months and say, "Okay, I finally have them." Then do you have to start the process over?
well, we always the a credit report's only good for 120 days when you pull your credit. So if your credit expires um, before that time period is up, you will have to refresh credit. We have to pull a new credit report. But yes, your like bank statements, pay stubs, all of those have like an expiration date on them. Whenever you're under contract, we have to have your most recent pay stubs, your most recent bank statements, whenever you go under contract. So, say if I pre-approve you this month and you don't buy a house until 2 months from now, I'm going to come back and ask you for your most recent pay stubs and bank statements.
Right. So if
Um,
you depending on if your bank statement and your check stub had lots of overtime on it, and next month you don't have that overtime on it, and your income that has fluctuated some, that could affect your loan. Am I right, Paula?
so kind of overtime and bonus income and things like that. It's it year to date. So just because you had a fat paycheck this time and next time your check is low, we're actually going to average it out year to date. If you're that type of an employee, if you don't get 40 hours every week, we're going to average your income anyway.
Okay.
So it's okay if your check is a little low. We're going to average it out year to date. Same thing with overtime. It's averaged over actually 2 years. Overtime is averaged over 2 years. So if you don't get overtime for 2 years, we can't use it anyway.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have to average it for 2 years. Same thing
Okay.
with commission. Commission, 2 years.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we're gonna
So
check that.
when
That's
my
great.
income go way down, and no need for me to be trying to go get a house if I didn't.
And you know what? That is so true. That with COVID affected a lot of people in buying
Right.
homes because when you were off work, if you were off work during the COVID, they're going to average your year to date. So if your year to date is low, you may or may not qualify because of COVID
Wow.
because
So
we're
that's
averaging.
something people hadn't thought about. And I
Yeah,
understand the interest rates are still very low, but they're changing
yeah,
rapidly. I heard. So
yeah.
that's what I heard in the wind. I don't know, you know, how that works.
True,
So
we had an increase in
yeah.
rates. So if people are trying to buy, they need to go ahead and do it.
Out there moving around, we try to protect people as best we can in this COVID environment.
Hmm.
And that's good for our industry. We want you to buy. We want that because it keeps companies keep the economy going when people are buying
Right,
or able to
right,
buy. That means they're working, they're stable, they don't see any income. Nobody can predict the future, but at least they know their jobs are not in jeopardy right now. So we want everybody to
right.
continue working and be best and get those documents that Ms. Paula at the mortgage companies need, and keep sending those contracts into Melissa.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Paula, thank you. Have a great day, and thank you for your real estate.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Thank you.